All right. Good evening, everybody. Let's do a brief audio and visual check. Make sure you can hear and see me okay. You can see Coach Jay over here on my left. Your guys is right. How are you, Coach Jay?
What's going on, Coach Dakota? I'm doing pretty good, man. How are you?
Good. Just trying a few things. Like I said, always finding ways to improve, whether it's your camera being blurry or adjusting the audio, finding easier ways to adjust the audio. So I'm going to be playing around with the settings for a moment, if you don't mind. I'm going to switch it over to your charts, Coach Jay. And if you want to review today, it is Tuesday's price action. We have a big FOMC coming up on Wednesday, and it looks like we had, I didn't even see this sell-off, but dang, what a sell-off during the second part of today. So
into the close. Yep.
Yeah. Go through that. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to be playing around with the audio settings, feedback from the chat, feedback from the moderator, and we'll make sure I get this volume and this music set up to where it's smooth.
Sounds good. So what I'm looking at on the daily in the NASDAQ, we have April 2nd. April 2nd, that daily candle, that was Liberation Day. High that candle, 20,040 and a half. We pretty much closed at the high of that candle today, Monday's price action. So for Tuesday, we are trading back inside of it right now. Dakota mentioned FOMC on Wednesday. So I'm not sure how directional these markets get. So kind of right now, what I'm looking at is, us to range around here. When we got on fast markets this morning, we were in the green room talking about, and Dakota, you remember this, we were just like, what's the over under for the day? And we set it at 20,000. And we pretty much traded right back to 20,000 on the close. And I'm expecting a lot of the same price action today. 2 days, one more day before FOMC. Again, we don't think it's going to be a huge deal, right? No one's expecting the Fed to really do anything, but a surprise could, really get these markets moving. But for right now, expecting consolidation, not expecting a whole lot. We saw a two-sided trade today where it was, buy it in the morning, sell it in the afternoon. Wasn't a whole lot of opportunity overnight. I guess there was a little bit of a sell-off, but then into Asia and London, we kind of consolidated. So again, I'm expecting the same thing from the equity markets. Looking at the NASDAQ, major 20,000 level is going to be kind of sticky.
Nice. I mean, still playing around with some of this audio. I know the chat it looks good and sounds good right now, everybody. So it's one of those where it's if it's not broke, don't fix it. What is your thoughts on? I know we played around with gold this morning.
Yep. Yes, we did.
What's your thoughts on gold, Coach Jay?
We took a gold short, and right after we took it, you asked the question that we ask every time we short gold: who shorts gold? And it continued to rally. If we look on a daily, Coach Paul and I talked about this a little bit at the buzzer, but we are holding the 20 moving average, which trending markets tend to do. That was a pretty strong close where gold rallied into the equity close, which if anyone knows and trades gold, it closes around 12:30 Central Time. So we had another 2.5 hours of a rally in gold when the market is technically closed. So it's bullish until it's not. I think we saw the pullback that we needed in gold. For the daytime session right now, I don't really see much of a buying opportunity, but if we get a pullback to somewhere near 33.20s, 33.25, I would be looking to potentially take a long in gold.
I'm done shorting gold. I was done.
It's either buy it or don't trade it, right?
It's either you look for buying opportunities, or you don't trade it. What's your thoughts on a NASDAQ short tonight?
I don't hate it. We traded above the 20,000 for pretty much all of today's session. I would not be surprised to see the NASDAQ trading back into 19,800 before FOMC. So I don't hate it. I think we could probably limit risk on a short here. We kind of did just reject at those 20,000s.
I know we are under 20,000 already tonight. We're down 0.3%, and
yep.
If we break the 80s, can we continue that sell-off?
I think so. I think so. 80 is a major level there. We can see it a couple of times. It was resistance, became support in this morning session. But how many times are we going to use that level as a support before it breaks is the question. So yeah, I don't hate shorts here. Question is, where do you limit risk? I wouldn't want it to be right above 20,000. Maybe go with a couple micros and go above 20,040.
20,040. Are you looking for any trades tonight?
I'm scanning. I don't really see a setup yet, but I am scanning to kind of see if there are any markets that are presenting opportunities. I feel like a lot of times what happens is we consolidate for this first hour or so, and then we start to see some more volume coming in and we start to see markets move. So if something moves, I'll trade it, but I'm not really seeing too much of an opportunity at the moment. If you guys are seeing anything in chat, let us know. We can take a look at it. If the NASDAQ bounces back up to 20,000, I may take that short. Feels like I kind of missed. Scalping is the way, says Milo. Scalping could be the way. We were talking about that this morning, right? Scalping the NASDAQ for 10, 15 points. What do you guys consider a scalp in the NASDAQ? Right? Is it a time-based thing? Is it a point-based thing? And my thing for scalps is, how do you limit your risk? Chat saying gold shorts. Go ahead, Dakota.
I've thought about time-based. I struggle with time-based because I love to just let a trade play out. And it's like, if technically it's still a setup, I'm okay with it. So I personally struggle with time-based.
Your scalps turn into investments? If it's a good trade?
Starts going against me. This is just long-term investment.
No, I was saying the other way, right? You start off as a scalp. You start off as a scalp for 10 points, and all of a sudden I'm up 150 points, and now I don't want to cut it because it's a great trade.
Yeah, it's man, that's an old time. I've joked around with that. It's where your short-term trades or day trades turned into long-term investments when they just go around, and you're just like, yeah, actually. Maybe tomorrow it'll turn around. Maybe the next day, and then it just keeps going and going.
Right. What has been moving? My volume is almost 2 times as loud as Dakota.
I got you. Don't worry. I'm still adjusting a few things, man. So your audio should be back to normal. I had you cranked up there for a minute, so the music doesn't drown you out. But NASDAQ is
I'll use my library voice. NASDAQ is selling here. Let's see what happens at these 80s.
I know. We could break through those. If we break through that pivot from this morning pre-market, I mean, down we go. Down we go. Is my mic still too quiet, chat, compared to you, Coach Jay?
I think we should be good. You know what I missed saying today? Happy Cinco de Mayo to all of our friends in Mexico. I somehow missed saying that today on TopstepTV, but happy Cinco de Mayo. I love Mexico.
I love Mexico. Anybody in chat from Mexico? From
Why do I have to be in Mexico?
You don't have to be in Mexico. You could be any Latin culture, right?
Be anywhere. You could be any.
Fair enough.
You just celebrate
Colombia.
it as a day to just drink. That works too.
Colombia, papa. Tell us what's important about it. It's a Latin, right? Latin.
Yep. It's the celebration of Mexico winning a war against the French.
Did you Google that?
No.
Oh, okay. Nice. Nice.
No,
Latin America.
I have
Mexico.
Had some friends from Guadalajara, Mexico, that I spent some time with, working in Mexico, and I was there in May, and they told me about it.
Oh, do you speak Spanish, Jay?
Enough to get by.
Okay.
Enough to get by.
Should we test it? Should we test it here?
Not right now. So
are you sure? Are you sure? ¿Cómo te va?
We're not doing this here.
Okay, come on. Come on. That's a simple one.
It takes It takes me a little while. So half of my family is from Panama, right, which is a Spanish-speaking country. Well, multicultural country. And I spent some time in Panama with my grandfather right before COVID, actually. And I can speak Spanish, but it takes me at least a day to adjust to hearing Spanish. So I can understand, but responding is a problem.
Yeah, I mean, you understand it first before you could actually start to reply and speak it.
Yep.
NASDAQ is holding up here in these 980s, and just don't mind me still. I'm still taking a little bit of time with this audio source.
Sounds good. Sounds good. SSK says we're learning so much about Jay today. All right, but NASDAQ bounced at those 80s. That's the kind of demand area support we were talking about. In order for me to take this short, I need to see this kind of flush, maybe break and retest of those 80s. Right, if we're going to continue to bounce here and use this general area as a support, there isn't really a lot of meat on the bone to take this short here.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. There could have been a short opportunity as we start to break like 02, 01, and then look for a 10, 20 point scalp that way. I mean, we're still seeing some volatility during this age, like during this slow markets. I'm still pretty impressive. Pretty impressive, man. I want to
get long gold.
Uh-oh. Get long.
I think I want to get long gold. Yep.
You don't, or you do?
I do.
It's just so.
It's kind of extended right now.
Yeah.
But
can everybody hear the music? Can you hear the music, Jay?
Yeah, I can hear it. Sounds good to me.
Okay. It's not drowning anybody out. It's nice.
I'm long one micro gold, 33.38 4.
One micro gold. Okay.
Risking about $250. And I'm gonna make this 2.
Put some Latin music on.
Hey, that'd be nice.
Oh. I have to make sure it's not copyright though. That's the thing.
Should we be trading the peso for?
Have you ever traded the peso? I've looked at it once, but I've never traded it.
I've traded it a couple of times, just in a Topstep combine, never in my personal account. I have the data for it, but I've never traded it. What just happened in gold? Did we just start selling off? Oh wow! As soon as I get in, nice. We love that gold.
Uh-oh.
This guy called the top.
Let's see if I can find some Latin music for everybody. And I'm scanning for trades. I think I'm good for the music. We're good for the music now.
Yeah, so music sounds good right now.
Now we could scan for trades and look to see any decent setups.
We risk disclosure. Nightbot, I'm sure, has shared it a bunch of times already, but don't follow anyone's trades on this show.
Yeah,
or any show.
Nightbot shares it sporadically, actually, which is nice. So anybody in the YouTube chat, just know, like Coach Jay said, it's for educational purpose only. It's not a signals class, and it's not financial advice. We're here to help traders. We're all, even ourselves, Jay. I'm always looking for ways to improve. So are you. So is everybody in this trading world. And you never stop learning.
100%. They're saying play some Bad Bunny. Dakota, you listen to Bad Bunny?
It's too inappropriate.
There you go.
And I know if you don't speak Spanish, you won't understand a lot of it. But man, it's very, very inappropriate.
So
it's chat.
What are you laughing at?
Just the chat, man. The chat always gets me. It's one of my favorite thing about the night is just the chat. Do you play golf? Of course I do. I'm not seeing any trades. Let's do the regular rapid fire. Let's get some.
Let's do it. I thought I did it. There really isn't much going on except for NASDAQ selling through these 80s, but go ahead. What are you seeing?
I'm not seeing much going on. Do you dance, Jay?
Do I dance, you said?
Yeah, I heard you could sing. Can you dance?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. It depends, yeah. But I can do a two-step.
Yeah? Let's see it, man.
What is happening right now?
Jay, we're seeing if you could dance. You can zoom your mic. All right, okay. Let's go. That was good. It's Cinco de Mayo, everyone. We're having a little bit of fun while we go through these markets.
Yeah.
Don't be shy, Jay. Let's see if we could get to my chart, and I'll go through a rapid fire on my end, what I'm seeing, trying to. Don't mind listening to some of this beautiful song. These aren't copyright though. This is not copyright. I got that.
It's a great song.
That's a fact. Yeah, it is. It is. There's some nice playlist. Let's see if I could pull up my charts. And there we go. Coach J versus 100 Latinas.
Shout out to Colombia. Shout out to Mexico. Beautiful places, beautiful people.
Muy guapo. There you go, Alex.
This is a trading show, right? And guys, it's not my camera. It's just the effect of having me on slow markets.
Yeah, it's the.
I'm in the matrix. We'll figure it out.
Let's get going. Let's get going. Everyone can see my chart. We're on the daily here in the NASDAQ, and it's starting to look a little bit bearish. I don't know what it is, man. This has been a bullish run for the ages, and I mean, we look from the last time we had a bit of a sell-off from that low down there, 17,700, over 2,500 points, and I traded okay. I'm positive, right? But it's not as much as I probably could have, since everyone knows I'm a bull at heart. I've been waiting to see if we got some type of pullback. Every little pullback we've seen has been just getting bought up so fast. We do have FOMC on Wednesday, so I'm not surprised to see some consolidation, some hesitation. We have that big move on May 2nd, and I think everything inside of that is going to be considered inside. Obviously, hindsight, everything inside that is inside candle consolidation. I would not be surprised. I'm looking for some type of pullback down towards his 19,800s. We've seen that consolidation today. Overall, we do see that this was a major pivot. Is this a major pivot? I don't know. And then obviously this is another major pivot that we broke out of. You can see how we kind of hesitated there for a little bit in the 19,400s. We finally broke. We came back up to this level of possible resistance. We're seeing some consolidation there. And now if we start to zoom in, okay, I can't take this serious with this music. I gotta change it. I'm sorry. It's just.
Yeah, I was about to just leave the stream and go
we're just having, man, okay,
find out where Latin night was. Yeah, go ahead.
There we go. There we go. All right.
There we
Now now we look at this hourly chart, and yeah, sure enough, it's been by the dip on every one of these. I mean, we could even do this, right? Every pullback, major pullback there, pullback, like every opportunity there has been buy the dip. And so right now we're looking, is this a buy the dip opportunity? How dip of a dip do we get? Where do we go? I'm looking for a little bit deeper. Now there is something to be said. 300-point sell-off. That's pretty decent for a bull market to pull back 1.5%, 300 points, and to find buying opportunities. And what I'd like to say, what happens when we do get these decent pullbacks. Measured moves. This is something I need to practice a lot more. Practice what I preach. Sometimes I get caught up on the day-to-day. Sometimes I get caught up on stream, on camera, and everything that's going on, and I forget to practice the basics, man. I know whenever I watch any athlete and any professional where they kind of start getting caught up in the moment and they start forgetting the basics, that I think sometimes is me. And if I should, and I probably need to do this a lot more, just getting back to the basics, focusing on the process, and I can avoid taking bad trades. Well, we've got quite a decent sample size over the past few weeks of a pullback in this market. And so if I am to measure this and say, what's a decent pullback? I think we could see a little bit of a run lower before looking for some buying opportunities. So just measuring this, everyone sees how I do this. I've done it for a very, very long time, Jay, since you've known me, going through these pullbacks. Yep. And just measuring, like, how far could we go on this pullback? Where's some good buying opportunities? Are we there yet? Should we start looking for a reversal? And this, I've noticed, I needed to be better at doing this myself to keep me out of bad trade locations. So in theory, we are at this level of support at these 980s. I don't mind missing out on a long here because there is potential, and it makes more sense if this market gets down towards this zone, towards these lower 900s, for a better opportunity. Now, with that being said, is it still a buying opportunity if this is where some of my overanalysis comes into play? So if I'm looking for this to be a better opportunity to buy, now, does it make sense because this is technically it's a lower high, and if we break this low, then we would be making a lower low? Question mark, right? So that's where I can tend to find myself overanalysis, paralysis by overanalysis, and then end up with hindsight and be like, dang it, it would have been better to just buy that dip, because we look back and I make an argument here, right? We broke that previous low, we broke it, beautiful buying opportunity. Same thing with some of these things. I mean, of course, we have news, we have headlines, we have FOMC coming into effect. So we do have some, just like a quarterback, right? There's everything that's going on. You want to call the play that's in front of you, but be aware of all the situation. Is it first and goal? Is it like fourth quarter, first quarter? What's the situation? And so I think there is a better understanding. Like, yeah, if we get down to these 890s before FOMC, then sure, I think it makes sense to buy it. Do I see this market have a complete sell-off before FOMC? It wouldn't make sense to me. Now, it doesn't mean the market can't, but it would not make sense to me if this market just sells off and just is very directional before FOMC, unless there's a big headline that might change that. Now, I do know there's been a little bit of fear in this market. I don't know if anybody knew, if you guys seen this, about like the Ford suspending guidance due to like that $2.5 billion payment or tariffs, right? So
I didn't hear that. What was that?
Yeah, Ford. So Ford, I don't know if there's any other companies, but Ford suspended its guidance due to $2.5 billion tariff impact.
Wow.
That's Ford, right? And I think Ford touts that it's mostly made in America. or I don't know the situation,
like
okay? I don't want to get political, but it's an example of a company struggling with its guidance due to this tariff and the impact in tariff. So I don't know. I don't want to get political. I don't want to let that stuff cloud my vision, my view, and just trading the price action in front of me. But that can play a lot, where if we do start to see this market sell off in momentum, it's something to maybe put and understand, like, okay, I don't know. There's so much uncertainty. Anyway,
Yeah,
Jay.
definitely.
Um,
I'm just gonna ignore the chat.
I'm trying to hold
hilarious.
it together too, because I'm seeing the chat reading through this.
You guys are hilarious. Keep talking though. This gold trade is starting to work out a little bit.
No, I want to see it.
Quick little pop there. Nice 6-point trade. I'm looking for a lot more. I'm looking for at least 20 points on this. My target is much higher, but gold's starting to pop
Jay
here.
on fire. Whoa, what's this? What's going on with gold? It's moving.
Yeah, I don't know what that was, but I'll take it.
It's
Couple
moving.
people in this long. Yeah, it is.
Is there a news event? Top of the hour?
Check.
Top of the hour?
Top of the hour. That's probably it. That's probably it. That's what we talked about, right? Sometimes it's consolidated for that first little bit, and then we'll get going. One thing we've seen, Coach Paul and I have seen, is last week there was a lot of selling for gold in Asia, and then we would buy it back in the New York session. But the entire rally up, we saw buying in Asia, and then maybe some selling in during the New York session. But it looks like the buy in Asia is back.
It's going, man.
Shout out to the buyers in gold right now. Yeah.
It's going. Coach Hoop, are you in the chat? Nightbot putting that risk disclosure again. Nice trade, Jay.
Thank you,
You're
sir.
looking for 85s?
Yeah, looking for 85s.
I almost hopped in with you as we broke through those 47s, but I didn't.
Let's see if we pull back and hold 50s. This might be a decent spot to add to this. We are coming up to this this consolidation. We were in this consolidation on the daily for a very long time. We spent about 5 days kind of going sideways, and we're trading that right now. So I'm really wanting to see what happens in this area.
It's going.
But this is just going right now. Yeah, there's really not much for me to do here.
You're just making the
I definitely
money.
don't want this trade. I definitely don't want this trade to turn into a loser at any point. Because that wouldn't make any sense. But this thing just
Wow.
kind of took a look at this 3-minute candle.
Wow.
Here's what we'll do. We're gonna take one off. Right. It's a little too close. We'll take it off right there.
Someone says crude following suit. So is that a news headline?
It seems like it has to be, right?
I mean, you'd think so. Aaron says, firing it up, looking to see if we got long. And Jay, you did. Long and strong.
Let's see if this holds. All right, I'm gonna tag out a 1 here. Actually, let's see. Look at that. Chat, when you put your stop in there, sometimes you stop the market with a 1-lot micro on a sim account. I literally put my order there and the market stopped. That's hilarious. Is it really gonna stop right there?
That'd be pretty impressive, man. I mean, yeah, look at that candle just straight up.
Anything happen on the DOM? I didn't see much. I actually don't have a gold DOM up.
Just
and the equities aren't doing anything.
There we go. It's pushing. You stopped the market, man. You're like nothing below.
Dakota, you saw that video I posted on X of the base runner?
Oh yes, is this it? Is this that example?
This is what it feels like.
There we go.
Interesting. I'm not seeing anything on the gold books right now, guys. We're just making new highs on the day. Just kind of pushing here. Aaron, are you in that gold long?
It's just so volatile right now.
Yeah,
and we're going. It's not stopping. Look at these other markets. NASDAQ has not reacted at all to that.
Not at all. Is anyone seeing a headline at all?
And I'm not. I'm looking. I'm not seeing anything.
Close at the highs, Aaron. Nice. Yeah, I'm going to trail a little bit tighter. I'm out of one. Stop on the second one is at break even. Let's see if they want to run 3,400. So we have this little consolidation to the left over here that we're kind of testing right now, which is why I'm okay trailing a little bit. But if we can break above this 63s, then I'm looking for 3,400. 3,400 was my ultimate target on this trade when I took it.
Wow.
It's a little way away, but
there was just no moves this morning in the New York session for gold until like maybe the afternoon, and then this.
Okay, so Nick J says the Shanghai Gold Exchange reopened today after a 3-day public holiday. That would do it.
Okay.
And if you're saying 3-day holiday, I wonder if that 3-day holiday had anything to do with this consolidation that we saw, where we weren't really seeing buying during the Asia session. It correlates. Nice. Back to buying gold during the Asia session.
Buy gold.
So let's trail the stop on this last one up just a little bit more. I'm going to look at this candle here and just go right below 50% of it. And equities didn't move at all, right?
No, we're selling off actually a little bit.
Yeah, let's see if we break these 80s.
I might short here in the NASDAQ.
You were looking at that 890 as a target, right?
Yes, sir.
I wonder if that's all that was. I mean, it did happen right at the top of the hour, right? So that does make a lot of sense. Does make a lot of sense. Silver, our biggest percentage mover on the day so far right now as well, popping at the same time.
Someone's saying longs in the NASDAQ. I don't know. Yeah, it looks like we might be breaking through those 70s tonight.
Yeah, I would want to see a little bit more volume to the downside, but I don't necessarily see a long here either.
Yeah, it's like not really quite. I mean, yeah, there's some good risk reward to the long side, but I'd like to see more consolidation in this zone.
Shanghai open 9 p.m. I'm gonna have to keep note of that. It's just still going. Here's those 63s. Would really want to see a close above this. If we look at a 30-minute closing above this, we kind of use this resistance as a support. How much is gold up right now? 1.2%. So when we closed, we were 5% off of the all-time high in gold. I'm not saying we see an all-time high tonight, but when we closed, we were 5% off that all-time high, 35.0990. And on a daily, it looks like that's kind of where we're heading. If we look, we had blow off top, consolidation, pullback. We held the daily 220 moving average, and it looks like the rally is back on again. Clearing this consolidation on the daily, I don't want to be short gold.
I agree.
If we get above this.
William in the chat reminds of all those gold trades we took, and I was taking at the top of the hour. That
oh
was,
yeah, right.
That could have easily been one of them. A just nice clean breakout. Someone says we have a gap filled from April 2nd, 22nd. gaps to the downside or gaps to the upside, I don't think are as probable to get filled than gaps to the downside, because over the long run, you just gotta think, everybody, the history of the stock market in the long period, markets typically go up, right? So every gap that we've ever had to the downside technically has gotten filled. That's not to say if we gap to the upside, right? Market can tend to run. So it's hard to say that market will fill that gap. Now, doesn't mean we can't. Something dramatic can happen and we could definitely fill it. If we get down there again, sure. That would be something that I would be watching.
I'm just going to take this profit target off and trail this market as it continues to go. We got above those 63s I was talking about. Next area would be the 80s. Come back and see if we hold 63 as a support.
NASDAQ's holding as well.
Testing these 20,000s again, right?
Well, 990s. 990s. So if there were traders that took along over there in the 80s, they're happy right now. Man, 81% long crude oil, Jay.
Wow. What's crude doing? Crude is filling that gap. We opened this week with a gap down. We're kind of right at 50% of it right now. $81 long?
82% long now, crude.
Wow. What are you guys seeing?
Everyone's just long crude. 75% long gold too.
That makes sense. I don't know if I see the crude long, but I guess maybe for a gap fill. But this has been a market that has been sell every rally.
Yeah, it's crazy. And here's the thing, it says 82% long and every single long is in the money.
Wow.
100% positive. Yeah. Look at this.
Who?
I'll share it.
Who here is long gold or crude in the chat?
Look at that. Yeah, it's 82% long, 100% positive in the money. Screenshot that, baby.
Wow. I wonder if that's like 8 people trading crude right now.
Or just one. No, or 10. It might be 10, and 8 of them are long, 2 of them are short.
Right.
That's an interesting one. Let's see.
And Michael in the chat says, nice gold trade. I exited my short 5 minutes before that squeeze. I didn't know that this was going to get here this way, right? So if you had a reason to exit, stick with your reason, right? Because I can't repeat this, right? I picked a level and said, hey, you know what? I want to be long here and establish my risk. But if you were looking for more of a momentum trade and you didn't get it, maybe you time stopped it. That's all right, right? Anytime you look at this and be like, oh man, I should have caught it. Maybe you can assess and there's something that you can change, but don't try to chase it now.
Yeah. Well, people chasing crude, and it's 85% long now.
All right, what is going on? I kind of want to short it.
Let's just fade the chat.
Yeah, I kind of want to short this right here and just risk these highs. 15 ticks. Because we got this volume spike, whatever this was, in crude oil. And I'm going to wait.
If you short crude and take a loss, man.
80. So you know what MP would be doing here.
Oh, I know, 100%. 100%.
You know what MP would be
73%
doing
long
here.
gold too.
Yeah. See, and I'm trailing on that one. Right. I'm gonna go 62 half.
You were long gold before it was a thing.
Right. I set the trends.
You're a trendsetter. All right, gold crude's starting to back down a little bit, back down to 80%. Still crazy.
Yeah, still 80%.
Insane.
I'm telling you, I want to short it right here. Not risking a whole lot. Let's see. If we reject these highs, I'm taking a short in crude.
All right, I'm watching, man. This is entertainment for me.
It's not supposed to be entertainment. It's supposed to be a good trade, but we'll see what
I
happens.
mean, I got my dinner.
Let me go to MCO here. Trend is your friend, but the trend in crude has been down. We are coming off of the yearly lows. Coach Paul was talking about, this could be a move that just shoots right back up to 70 really quick. And I'm not going to take the trade now because Derek Lord said he's going to full port it with me. So I'm flat.
You're flat.
I'm not going to be responsible for that. Yep.
All right. Dakota, what's your DNL on yesterday? Is that a term that I maybe just don't understand?
Maybe a typo. D and P are on the completely opposite sides of the keyboard, so. But I think they meant P&L.
P&L. I lost $292.
That was a great lockout today.
Man, price action just sucked.
That was
I mean, from the scalping and what I was seeing this morning for the first 1 hour, I mean, maybe if you stayed later and was able to catch a long or that short, it's all right. Guess what? Tomorrow happens. Question for you, Jay.
What's up?
For anyone who doesn't know this, Topstep shares the top statistics daily, the P&Ls daily. So if anybody's ever wondering what my P&L is for a month, 2 months, a year, whatever, you just have to watch Topstep TV. Do the math. Or I know math is hard, but it's always shared every day on Topstep.
I just added to that gold long. I'm back in 2. Moved my stop up just a little bit, so I'm actually I didn't add any risk to that trade, but if this little pullback here holds, then we're back in it.
All right. Big news tomorrow?
Oh yeah, big news tomorrow on Topstep TV.
Big news.
Big news tomorrow. You guys thought the big news of the week was FOMC. Live traders.
Live trading.
It's going to be announced. Did you see it? The post on X?
No. Tell me. I want to really know. I'm serious. I've been talking about live traders for so long, man. I would love. The friendly Deegan says, I've done the math. You're down big. Well, tell me what the math is, please, because I don't keep track of it. Is that bad? Is it bad? I look at like every once in a while. I'm more worried about where I'm at when it comes December. And so last year I was up just over $500,000. I know this year I've taken a payout and I'm in a drawdown. So tell me what it is, please. I don't want to pay someone to do it.
The news tomorrow, though, let's talk about good stuff. Traders have been asking for this, and now it's real. Tomorrow, May 6th, 2025, on Topstep TV, live performance bonus announcement.
Whoa. One second. Topstep TV.
Topstep TV's Twitter page, yep.
Cheers. Oh, damn, dude. I was just talking about this over the weekend. All right, I'm sharing that.
Perfect timing.
Wow. Is there?
So it's going to be announced tomorrow, Dakota. Full disclosure, we do not know exactly what the announcement is going to be. Dakota and I, as partners of Topstep, we get cued into conversations every once in a while, but once a decision is made, that's internal to the company. But from some of the conversations that we've had, what do you think about it, Dakota? You were having a conversation on X the other day.
I know. The funny thing is we honestly know just as much as really what the traders do, and we're just on air so frequently. We kind of are more up to date than most of the chat who might tune in not as frequently, because we're here, right? We're here every day. We have these discussions too, Jay. I know MP was talking about profit targets for live accounts, where it was like, there's a lot that we talked about, to be honest.
Yeah, there is. It'll be nice to know exactly what was settled on, and again, it'll be announced tomorrow. But it's a big thing, right? I think there's been that conversation of what's the point of having a live account with a prop firm? Why not just take it out and things like that? And I think this is just another version of Topstep, adding benefits to trading with their accounts. It's going to affect a subset of traders, but I also think it kind of puts the live account as a goal for more people once we know exactly what that is. I'm flat on that gold trade, by the way.
Okay, great trade, man.
I still like this long, but I'm flat.
Yeah, NASDAQ's pushing. We're right at 20,000 even. Big round number. Just a 2 with 4, 5 zeros after it, and 7 zeros if you want to include the decimals. So $20,000. Big round number.
Just hanging out there.
Yeah, we pegged it there yesterday or this morning, right? And there it is.
Yep. And I think gold is just going to continue to rally. Traptor X, 13K on the gold long. Very nice trade. Here's what I should have done, chat. You see this volume spike we had here? My trail should have been if we close below VWAP from that. Because in that way, I might have been able to stay in the trade the entire time. Not going to overthink it. Decided to get out where I did, but I think this trade is still valid above this VWAP from whatever this volume spike was. Good tunes.
Yeah, no, I'm just jamming. I'm not seeing any other opportunities. You took that trade. You took the trade of the night, man. Long gold, and it just ripped higher. And NASDAQ, we did hold those 80s. And so the traders that were saying long NASDAQ, I mean, if they're long, they're happy. And, crude oil longs are now down to 70%. Instead of 85, we're down to 70. And everything's right. Looking good.
Still think there's some room up in this trade. If we get a pullback to 33.58, I'll get back into it. Did crude pull back at all? Oh, that's what I was looking for.
Oh, yeah, you got it, man.
That's what I was looking for. I didn't take it, but that's what I was looking for. Pop that high and then come right back. I'm going to sell 2 micro crude.
Short opportunity in NASDAQ, maybe.
Yeah.
We just rejected 20,000 like it was.
Yes, we did.
Hot potato.
Where do you set risk here if you go short, Dakota?
Above that pivot, like 80.05.
Got you.
But it's still a tough trade, man. Still a tough trade. I'm just excited. I really want to know what's going to be happening tomorrow. I want to know what the live account benefits.
Tomorrow, right?
What's that?
You're on fast markets tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm on fast markets tomorrow. I don't see a time.
Yes.
Hopefully,
you're gonna be on when it's announced.
Hopefully, they announce it. I'm just curious because I've been in a live account for, since I've been trading at Topstep, basically. Right. Obviously, cycled through some XFAs, pumped up my live account balance, baby, just like everybody else, equal opportunity, and yeah, been in a live account. I'm freaking excited. I'm just trying to think of what it could be and how it's going to be impacting. You talk about a legit prop firm, talking about basically paving the path, right? And now there's a difference between what we typically see in this industry when I first started to get involved in it versus what we're seeing now.
I'm short 2 micro crude.
All right.
Risking about $30. Let's risk $60. And for anybody who missed the post what we talked about, I just posted the link to the TopstepTV Twitter page. Make sure you follow that. But live performance bonus announcement tomorrow on TopstepTV. Wizard says I'm going to get stopped out on crude. You're right. For a win, though. It's going to hit my profit target.
That's a good one, man. That's a good one. Oh,
Got to be specific.
I'm going to steal that. I'm going to steal that one of these days.
See if we got any questions in the chat. Can you talk about how long is too long to wait when adding to a winning trade? Like how many points before you miss the opportunity to add? Austin, that's a good question, right? I just added to that gold trade, and I don't know if it's a time thing. I think more it's a how much potential room do you think is left in a move, right? So for this gold long that I took, we started getting somewhat close to a potential area of rejection. So, let's say that I thought 33.75s was the target for that long. If we're trading at 33.71, I got to ask myself, is it worth taking? And Dakota, they're saying I'm echoing. I don't know if.
I know you haven't had any issues all night, man. So I.
Yeah, it sounds fun. But yeah, if 75 was my target and we're trading at 71, even though this looks bullish, I got to ask myself, is it worth taking the trade there with, a potential area of rejection? So I think, Austin, to answer your question, anytime you think about adding to a trade, if the thought process is, if I was in more, I could make more money, that's probably not a good enough reason to add, right? If the thought process, I think you should think about it is, if I wasn't already in a trade, is this a valid opportunity to get into a trade? Right, that's the only way to really think about adding. And then you want to go back to what your original trade was. And if you're going to add and it's going to turn that trade into a loser, you got to question whether or not it's worth taking it. Right. If I took one off and added back into that gold trade, but at no point was that overall trade going to lose any money. Hopefully that answers your question.
I'm sleepy. Do I look sleepy, chat? I am a little exhausted.
You had a long day, right?
I had a long freaking day. It's Monday. NASDAQ starting to push lower. These 980s.
Trade the range until it breaks.
Oh, I think it's just so hard to buy this right here.
Yep. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I don't want to buy that.
That's valid. That's valid comment, right? You trade it until it changes. You trade what's in front of you until it breaks. But we could easily break. Easily.
Can you give an eval for NQ?
An eval for NQ.
Maybe an evaluation of it.
Evaluation.
In
Looks
a
like
range.
it's gonna break
Potentially
lower.
about to break right here. Yeah. Not seeing any size on the order books. Andrew, am I a Knicks fan? I am a New York fan. It's good to see New York teams do well. It's hard to be a Knicks fan, though.
Fair enough. You support your local team.
Yeah, exactly. But it's hard to be a Knicks fan.
All right, man. I'm short NASDAQ.
Oh, yeah? Oh, wow. The Knicks are tie ball game. 28 seconds to go.
Is that the playoffs?
It is game 1 against the Celtics. I thought the Knicks were going to get swept, to be honest. So I'm gonna pull this up on the side.
All right, we'll switch over to my chart. Chat could critique my trades. Critique my trade, chat.
A moment through that low there.
Yeah, critique my trade. I'm short at the low.
It's only short at the low if that stays the low. What are you, a micro or mini?
3 minis.
3 minis.
We need to do like the rank my trade. Let's do it. Let's see if I could do the rank my trade somehow using a poll. That would be fun.
Knicks have not won a championship since '73.
Let's see. I gotta adjust a few things.
What's up, David? How we doing? David in the chat. I'm gonna cut this crude trade.
All right, there's the
Took it
poll.
for a scratch.
Let's. I'll give 4 options for everybody. Rank my trade.
That's hilarious. I gave it a 10.
Take that. Take that, chat. Rank your own trades.
Somebody was definitely waiting to give it an F. There's no Fs on the all 10 scale. Let's see though. I do like this trade. We did see a little bit of a pop below that low. Just need some follow through selling here, but buyers had a couple of times, a couple of opportunities above 20,000. I like it. Oh, gold. Just gonna keep going like that.
Is it just going up?
Yeah, it was one 15-minute candle red and right back to the upside.
All right. We'll do a legit trade. I'll do a legit one. All right, I'll make it legit. Now that it's, you can't change your mind if it starts to play in the direction or not in the direction. Okay, well we'll do a legit ranking. So pointless. Come on. Oh, chat. We'll do, how do we do a 7 out of 10, 8. I can only do 4 options. There we go. Only 4 options.
Overtime.
There we go. There's better. It only gives me 4 options, so we'll see how the chat ranks this trade. I'm going with the trend. Come on, everybody. They hate me when I don't go with the trend.
Right, trend is your friend.
Nope, I'm not going to scale in. 3 minis, which is relatively big. I'm looking for this market to sell off. I'm looking for maybe these 920 seems like a very far away, but short term. I'm going to be looking for these 57s to come into play. Maybe look for a 1-to-1 risk reward. Let's see. Let's just watch. Well, I might end up trailing this one if we do start to break through these 60s. Don't change it. Don't change your rankings. Come on, everyone.
What is the poll coming back with?
It's 34% out of 10, 35% 7 out of 10, 20% 4 out of 10, and 10% is 1 out of 10.
Nice. I'll tell you what I gave it after it's over.
All right. Okay. Going for April 22nd's gap fill.
Gold is still rallying that, and that's good for your short if that's going to keep doing that.
Is it really? Just going straight up.
Dude, this thing is just nonstop.
Wow.
So it is not out of the question to see a new all-time high in gold tomorrow. I mean, it would have to be a pretty crazy day, but we're 4% off the high, and we've seen crazier things.
Okay, end the poll. I ended the poll. And guess what? Who's ranked it? We're pushing down to these 60s. Oh, chat. What did you rank it, Jay?
I gave it a 7.
Fair enough. I respect
it a
that.
7.
I will respect that.
And I think it's important to say why, right? Some people just say, oh, I gave it a 1 because this guy sucks and I hate him. That's not a good enough reason to say anything. I gave it a 7 because I know you were looking for a short a little bit earlier, maybe taking it a little bit higher on the rejection of the 20s. But for the timing, there really wasn't much you could do if you wanted to get in this trade, but getting it where you did. So I like the idea. Like we said, really no buying above 20,000s. We saw that strong rejection, which looks like some seller momentum, and you got in the flow with it.
Yeah, I like that feedback. And then it makes sense, right? We did come up to this 20,000 and we rejected. And so getting in earlier, maybe on a 3-bar reversal, maybe up here as we started to reject those 20,000 would make sense. You'd have much better risk reward, right?
Right.
And then, it's probability over risk reward. And here we are selling into those 60s. Let's see if we get those 50s come into play right here. I want to see those 50s come into play. We did break through yesterday's low, so I mean, that's pretty bearish.
Yeah, this looks pretty good. Downside momentum picking up also.
Oh, it didn't let me close out at 1. I tried to put a closeout at bid at 58. Dang, we bounced 9 points right off that. Bounced 9 points off of where I tried to buy bid. Sometimes I debate that, man. Sometimes I debate, do I buy bid or I close out at market? Trying to get a little bit better price sometimes is not worth it. So with all the answers is it depends.
I usually just go market out. I'll bid or offer into a trade, but I usually just go market out on exits. But it's a preference thing, right? I think whatever you're accustomed to doing is just what you do all the time.
Exactly. That's about where I'm at. I'm used to joining bid, getting a better price. I mean, especially it depends, right? Slow markets, you have maybe a 1 or 2 tick spread sometimes, and it's beneficial. I'm used to slow markets. Fast markets, it's very liquid, and you can see a tighter bid ask, so I don't mind. And then like this, right? I just tried to put buy bid at 57, and now that we're kind of hesitating there, if we do start to break down, then I mean, I might even get a better price if we hesitate a minute and then we sell off again. And so instead of buying bid at 57, I would have an opportunity to buy bid at like 55, 54 on the momentum push down. So let's see. We'll watch. We'll see if this can play out. We did close on the 5-minute chart below that pivot. So that's nice to see. 5-minute candle just closed. Now let's see how long, if we can hold below these 60s or 70. If we could hold below 70 and start to accept price lower, it's just we have that level of resistance right there, basically right at 56, 57, those mid 50s that we just got a nice little bounce off of.
Yeah, I wanted this. I mean, your entry is kind of in this right above this candle. I'm looking at this last 3-minute candle right here. We saw some nice selling coming in there from a volume perspective. 180 negative delta. Just want to see them hold that.
All right.
Because that 180 could be aggressive shorts coming in, or it could have been stops going off right at that area. So just want to see somebody saying, hey, yeah, we're selling this because we want to short it, keep pushing it lower.
Yeah, and some follow through and.
Yep. Follow through. Talk about follow through. Gold is just, I don't know where that market's going, but I think it's 3,400.
It's going to the moon, man.
That's really, yeah.
Moon's gonna have some gold on it. We're mooning straight up. And see, look at that. Look at NASDAQ trying to push a little bit lower. Let's see if I could get a. Wow, we bounced off those 57s again. I was gonna turn up the tunes. And if you hear a song, everybody, if you hear a song you like, let me know so I can add it to make sure I favorite it to the playlist.
I was trying to see if Aaron Trades was still in the chat. Gonna ask him where this gold trade is going right now. This thing is just
just going straight up. Wow.
Dude. Like,
wow.
What is this? It looks like a meme coin.
Yeah, made of gold. All-time highs, baby. Straight up. Straight up.
I mean, we are 112 points away from an all-time high. If we look at today's range, we had an 88-point range day, and it wasn't any, like, spectacular, right? Kind of the market just kind of floated up. This looks completely different, and I think it was Nick in the chat that said that the Shanghai Exchange opened for the first time since the holiday. This looks like that, right? Where they were just sitting on money, waiting to allocate it.
Yeah, they wanted to buy gold. They're like,
buy anything below the high.
Yeah, let's just buy it. We'll buy it up to all-time highs. NASDAQ hanging out at 960. I'm still in a short, 3 minis. All right, let's see if we can break through these lows. 57s. Is 57s going to hold, or are we going to fail through it? Oh, I'm not seeing any momentum that I want to just get out right there. We didn't have like a nice little flush. It's just kind of, we tick a little bit lower. We legit just ticked lower, right? There, you can see this. There was, we ticked, and then when we broke the low again, we made another one, and now we just made another one. All right, 1, 2, 3. So I'm looking for that nice little flush that in through these 50s. Here, chat. You love P&L. Oh, pocket watchers. Eat your heart out.
There we go.
All right, let's get out one at 56.
Just, you ever get out of a trade and then you just watch in awe that it's still going?
Don't think about it, man. Turn the chart off.
I'm gonna just turn the Knicks game on. They might win it. Yeah, and chat, tip of the week, Top Step tip of the week this week was emotional control. And that's kind of what I'm doing right now. Yeah, I can sit here, I can think about all the money that I should have made in this trade. That doesn't really help me in this. But what I don't want to do right now is to try to chase these profits that I might have missed out on, right? There was definitely opportunity for me to get back in this. Like we talked about, holding that VWAP from this anchor. So at this point, what I'm thinking about is, okay, we're this close to 3,400. Maybe we get a rejection. If we get a pullback to that VWAP before 3,400, I'll get back into this trade.
Nice. Man, I just can't stop thinking about the live funded account payouts, dude. I sitting here
I'm excited
just like,
to see what they say.
Because I was guessing all weekend. I had that conversation all weekend. I just, yeah, you shared it, and so I shared it as well. So, I mean, it's just like, what do we... Yeah, I share it. I'm gonna share it again in the chat. It's just so... I don't think traders realize how important that is for what I've been pushing for over a year and talking about for over a freaking year. It is just... I don't know.
I think we have a little bit of a privilege, Dakota, because we know kind of where that conversation was going. But we don't know, again, we don't know exactly what it's going to be, but I think we know kind of what the conversation has been. So when traders hear it, I think there'll be a lot more excitement about it. Hopefully there will be.
I know. I still have my guesses. I mean, I don't know. I don't think, like I was saying, traders do not realize how important this is for what we've been talking about. Like, me, Coach Jay, since day one, since February of last year.
Yep.
I got funded. I got into a live account and I was talking live account. Focus needs a live account. And it's like, sure, of course, I'm going to take advantage while I have XFAs. I'm going to pump up my live account with those XFAs, but just continuing to talk live accounts. Like, how can we get traders to focus away from the sim farming idea, which, credit to the traders who were able to take advantage and who takes advantage of that. You
still can,
right? And there's different firms that allow it. Who knows how long that's going to last? But to focus on the future, to focus on moving this industry the correct way to where traders can, find success, duplicate that success on their own, start their own account, and start taking advantage of it and live that freedom without relying on a prop firm and wondering every day, is this prop firm going to change rules that's going to affect me? And so it's nice to start seeing live account focus. I love to see traders on the Twitterverse talking about live accounts and their live accounts. And now we're seeing this. We're seeing the best prop firm that has been focusing on live account now
incentivizing traders to get into one.
Exactly. It's like it's a legit prop firm. It's not just some sham shop trying to oh man, you can see how passionate and I better just calm down. Let's just focus on this trade, and I'm sure there's going to be lots of conversation tomorrow.
Yeah, I think MP said he won't be on Topstep TV for a little while. I know this is definitely an announcement he would want to be in for, and I wouldn't be surprised if he finds a way to kind of call in to the show to talk about it. But it's just one of the things that again, Topstep continues to push the prop space forward. It's one announcement potentially coming this year. I'm not spelling anything because I don't know anything. What's this trade looking like, Dakota?
All right, Jay, you're on to us. If this YouTube closes for some reason, let's just enjoy this trade, Jay. We'll pump up some of the music and There we go. Some calming the music.
Oh, that's great defense. Knicks just won. Good job. Let's go, Knicks.
Wow.
Let's go, Knicks.
All right.
I was wrong about my prediction of them getting swept, but I also did say a gentleman sweep. So could be Celtics in 5.
Celtics in 5.
Gold pulling back a little bit.
NASDAQ pumping a little bit. We held that level. We held those 57s. I'm glad I got out right there at 56, 57.
How many do you have left? 2?
I have 2. I do have 2. I might end up just getting out of this trade. We're not getting a lot of follow through on those breaks of new lows, right? Like I was talking about earlier. Every time we make a new low, there's not a lot of momentum like gold, right? The example is gold.
Right.
It's just every time we just tap a new low, buyer stepped up. And I don't like that price action. I'm still in the trade. I'm going to tighten up the risk though. Let's tighten up that risk.
I was gonna say if you wanted to get out of the whole thing, I'd maybe close one and then set the CYA to 70 and just see if that holds. Because there was some nice volume that came into the sell side here. We're kind of bear flagging in it right now, and we held 50% of it. So
yeah, we're consolidating in these 60s still.
Yeah, I could see why you're thinking about managing this for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, on the exact opposite though side, right? We are continuing. The sellers are just stepping in right at 66, 67, and just dropping this thing right back down into those 50s. So it works both ways. I'm still in this position. I haven't been closed out and managing risk. Let's see if we can get it.
Vito says, well, it's...
Yeah,
yep,
yeah, the same one. Yeah, the same one. It only moves in a straight line when it's going for your stop loss or after you've taken profit, right, Jay?
Yeah, exactly.
Like your that gold
like
trade.
Gold. I mean,
straight line.
It did go in a straight line for half of my trade, right? I'm not going to be greedy, but I mean, honestly, this is just a Dakota measured move, right?
Yeah.
Let me make that a white line so we can actually see what I just drew there. Don't worry about what's going on in my charts. I'm trying to distract myself from not being in this long.
All right, fair enough. We'll continue to watch this. We're hovering around the upper 50s, right around 60. Here in the NASDAQ, 960s. All right, let's see. If we make a new low, are we going to find momentum? I could see us finding momentum now. We consolidated for 10 minutes. Or accumulated. Consolidated, accumulated, contracted. AB, I mean potato, ICT, MCT.
Okay, there we go. Nothing at 50s to slow us down here. 16 contracts sitting there.
Oh, look, we ticked lower. Look at that. Ticked lower and bounced.
Shout out to Cassie passing the combine on this short in the NASDAQ. Nice trade.
Nice trade. Hey, chat. How would you rank my trade now? I would still say that your 7 out of 10 is still valid, though, Jay.
Yeah, I think still a 7.
But what does chat think?
Someone in the chat said, get out, it's going to rip.
We're going to rip.
Like Beyblades. Let it rip.
The one that got muted, Jay. Ron. Yes. This chat, it's like, this trade's crap, but it's my crap. Yeah, look, they slammed it right as soon as we got to the 65s.
Yep. Gold looks like it's consolidating, maybe pulling back a little bit here.
All right.
Are you guys still doing the Topstep VIP stuff? Are all the spots full? Spots aren't full yet. We haven't drafted new teams. They are still doing the scouting check-ins. The team has the schedule of when those get released, but they're released on TopstepTV. I think they're going to do 25 check-ins. You don't have to catch all of them. I think we've done 9 so far. But fill out as many as you can. The more you fill out, the more entries you get into the VIP. But teams will probably be drafted next month. What's wrong with sim farming? Nothing.
Nothing. I've never been against it from the trader's perspective. It's always been against those that encourage it to the extent that it takes advantage of those that don't understand, and against the firm itself. I've always been for traders who can take advantage of it. It's kind of weird. It's always been skewed, right? That's a good point where it says misinformation is always skewed. What I've been saying. Take advantage of it while you can, but there's a healthy way to promote it and an unhealthy way to promote it, and I'm against promoting it in a very unhealthy way to where you could just churn and burn accounts and create bad habits.
So someone asked, and I'm gonna get in my ICT bag here, for all the conspiracy theorists that say I trade ICT strategies. I don't, but somebody asked about a fair value gap, and I work with a ton of the traders in the Topstep community, right? So I have worked with a ton of traders that trade ICT strategies. What's the difference between a fair value gap and an inverted fair value gap? So I was on with OFEC last week, and I asked OFEC that exact question. If you can switch over to my charts when you can.
Yes, sir.
You can manage your trade.
Yep,
I'll do some teaching here. So this right here would be considered a fair value gap, right? Where we have the high of this candle right here and the low of this one. We have this, what's called a fair value gap.
Is
right?
it off
So
the wick or the
looking-
base of the candle?
The wick. So the wick of this one, and then the wick of...
The wick of which one?
Hold on, I'm gonna zoom in. So this wick here, and then this wick here.
Why?
Like that. That's just, those are the rules. I don't know. That's how you draw them, right? So that's how you draw a fair value gap, right?
Okay.
From what I've learned, right? And this is me being a new trader, chat, right? You guys can test me on this, right? Here's another one. Here's another fair value gap, right? Where we had this spike, then we have this wick, and we can see we tested into consequent encroachment, aka 50% of the fair value gap. So what is an inverted fair value gap is when we trade through this and then it's just inverted. That's it. Right? An inverted fair value gap is a fair value gap that gets traded through. Shout out to, so here's the thing, right? Now, you guys know that I'm a volume and order flow trader. You tell me, is there any validity to trading into 50% of this and buying it? Looks like a pretty damn good trade to me. So anything can work, chat. It's about how you use the information to interpret the markets. Now, if you don't use it or if you don't like the person, separate the man from the message. But that looks like a pretty valid trade right there, and it would have got me back into this gold long.
Okay, I have a question for you, Jay, and chat on what you just went over. You're on micro gold, right? So I want to make sure I'm in the same market. And you're on the 3-minute, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna switch to my chart.
Yep.
How is that any difference than just saying, hey, that's the average pullback? Well, let's see if we can, like right here and right there, and just saying, yeah, if we see something like that, we look for a long.
Same exact thing. Same exact thing. Same. It's just a different visualization of it, right? I think where you have measured those pullbacks, right? A trader might not necessarily look at that pullback, right? Because sometimes those pullbacks may not give you. So right where you have it right now, I think we have perfect measured moves. So those pullbacks precede a trending move in the market. Sometimes that's not going to be the case. And then sometimes there's not going to be a fair value gap. But yeah, it literally is like, who just said it, 100 trades, just a different way to look at the market.
Okay. Now,
go ahead.
Oh, all right. No, I'm really trying to have an understanding, like just looking through, trying to understand, like, okay, 50% retracement. I pull up a fib. When I pull up a fib from top to bottom of that move, just trying to understand that. And it has nothing to do with Fibonacci's. It doesn't have anything about average pullback. And there's just so many different ways to trade this market. You're looking at a 3-minute. Does it have to be a 3-minute? Can it be a 5-minute?
Nope. It could be a 5-minute. It could be a 1-minute. And again, I don't know all the rules, but I think part of it is, keeping whatever you're looking at the same, right? And, somebody might say, why is this guy looking at a 3-minute chart? That's not in the textbook, the ICT textbook. And again, I think some of this, just like your pullbacks, right? You're looking at a pullback on a 3-minute chart. I could change it to a 15-second chart. The average pullbacks are going to be a little bit different. So I think there's a little discretion that comes into it. But what someone was saying was this is a bullish engulfing candle, which I don't know if it was really engulfing, but yeah, I don't know. Measure that, 50% works. So here's the thing, is this right? No. But is anything right? No, right? Is this enough information for me to want to put risk behind a trade? And that's all any trading strategy is. No one has the right answer because none of us know exactly where this market is going to go. But this is a way for me to get to a decision. And that's it. Or not for me, a way for ICT traders to get to a decision and go from there.
Yeah, and Program FX is, nothing of ICT ways, so why are you explaining it? We're not exactly saying this is it, right? We're having an open, constructive conversation.
I literally said right before this, I don't know. So chat, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
So if you know it, correct me.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that.
It's weird. Traders are weird. So maybe my understanding, this is how I viewed that, okay? That explanation is an area of market to where it hasn't retraced or went, like from that wick right there. This is a 3-minute chart. We're gonna zoom in. We're gonna zoom in. I'm gonna ask this question, okay? And so from this wick, price rallied all the way up. It came back down. It closed there, and then there's a wick right there. There's a wick right on that one. And technically anything inside this is called a fair value gap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, it's funny. Hoag looks at market profile, right? A lot of times where a trader might draw a fair value gap, Hoag looks at his TPO charts and says that they're single prints. It's the same exact thing, right? It's just an area of price where the market didn't spend a whole lot of time. Right. So what do markets like to do? They like to come back to those areas where they didn't spend. Dakota, you look at pullbacks. It's all the same stuff.
All right. Okay.
All the same stuff.
Yeah.
But it's interesting though, right? Because I always ask, anytime I work with an ICT trader, it's like, okay, so why do you choose one over the other? And I think the one thing I've seen from working with a lot of traders, and OFEX said this last week as well, where, a trader might be looking for a pullback to a fair value gap that never happens, right? So then most of the ICT traders I've worked with, from my experience, have a hard time getting into a trade unless the conditions are very specific, right? And if they miss the entry, like that pullback that we just saw in gold, where it came right down to the tick of that 50%, if they miss that entry, a lot of the traders that I've worked with say, well, you know what, then I have no trade. I have to wait for the next one.
Hey chat, is this a fair value gap right here on the NASDAQ?
What time frame you on?
I'm on the 3-minute. There's a wick right here at 72.50, and we sold all the way off. Is this Oh, whoa. Okay.
Hey.
Oh, well, just something
All right,
happened.
enough games.
All right. Well, wait. Let's trade this.
Yeah. Enough games. What was that?
I don't know, but that was 20 points.
Beautiful trade.
That fair value
Gold
gap
sugar.
worked.
Fair value that.
Yeah,
What a trade.
yeah, fair value gap, fair value that.
Segi says it hit the fair value gap and dipped. I actually think that's exactly what just happened.
I mean, fair enough, man. I'm hooked. I'm sold. Bank this. Let's go.
Right off the 50% of that gap. Wow.
Look at that. I'm a professional trader. Where's ICT? Oh, man.
Oh, man. Gotta love trading. There's so many different ways to say the same thing. I remember I did a volume class one time in Discord, and I probably wasn't the best at explaining it. You know, starting off coaching a year and a half ago, I've gotten better at explaining things and, you know, getting to the point. I was doing a class, and someone just comments, he's like, this guy's an idiot. Just like, same concepts I talk about all the time now. I explain them better, but again, nothing's right or wrong. It's a way to look at the markets now. This consolidation under these 950s, right? We're kind of holding 950s. What's your target on this, Dakota?
April 22nd gap fill.
Okay. Oh, wow.
I'm just joking, man. I see you over there looking it up.
I'm like, I thought it was a little bit closer than that, but yeah, I mean, hey.
We're going for it, chat. I'm trailed this baby. Risk free. Closed one off at 57. So those 57s, 55, this level of support was my first target to take one off. And we just fair value gap down all the way to these. Am I saying it right? Did we just make a fair value gap right there?
Another one? I don't know. I'm getting tired now. And that's my thing, right? That's what I've asked a bunch of traders as well. It's just like, well, if there's a fair value, there's actually on Quantower, and I know we can use Quantower with TopstepX accounts now. There's a fair value gap indicator.
Oh.
Just draws them for you.
We're going to chop this segment up and say, Coach Jay and Dakota discovers the fair value gap. ICT Concepts. Makes millions.
Oh, somebody just came in with some size.
Yeah, 95 on the NASDAQ at 48 3/4.
Interesting price.
Oh, yeah. Why there? Their fair value gap. No?
Those did not trade.
They pulled it. I mean, there's a lot coming in at 50 evens. I mean, there's 100 trade at 50 even, so. $120 trade at 50 evens.
Shout out to CFT in the chat, live funded trader. CFT, I don't know if you heard, but tomorrow on TopstepTV, there's going to be announcements for live funded trader performance bonuses.
Yes,
So,
I posted
shout
it
out to
too.
CFT.
There you go. If you're going to like one, like that one.
Yep.
I'm freaking stoked, man. I'd be making money on making money from a performance bonus, and I really want to see it. Like, is it going to be? I'd love for it to be just based off of just consistency. Like, hey, you can consistently make profits, then yeah. If I can make like $1,000 a month, and I could get something from that, or make a couple $1,000, something doable, not unrealistic. I don't want to see unrealistic. That's sometimes makes me a little bit nervous whenever like you hear change. Oh, here we go into those lower 40s. I just want to see some.
There's another fair value gap that NASDAQ is targeting right here, Dakota.
Okay. I don't know, man.
I like this trade. Really nice trade, man. Let's Get Rich says you better close this trade. It's going to rally to fill the volume imbalance. I could see that, but the two volume imbalances that I've seen have held so far, right? The first one, I'm looking at 9:36 Eastern time. If you're looking at a 3-minute candle, 50% of that held. The next one I'm seeing is 10:03 Eastern time. And if 50% of that holds, then this is still a valid trade. Remember, there were some traders that said Dakota should close this trade at 9.70. So if you're in it, trade your trade. Crude shorts working. I don't like us holding the high of that volume spike. Dakota, you still in the full position, or did you take any off?
I took that one off at 56, 57. Hey, look, there's a pull.
Nice. And I'm not saying that anyone, if you're saying, hey, you should close this trade, you may have a very valid reason why you would close a trade here, right? The gold trade that I had a valid reason for closing it. Somebody else might still be in it.
Correct.
So if you're actually in this trade, don't try to follow Dakota for what his process is, because his might not be yours, right? Different risk appetites, different account sizes. Dakota polling like a politician.
Hey, I'm learning. I've been learning. I just noticed what time it was, dude.
It's flying by.
Wow.
Flying by.
Wow. Check.
It's been a good one, though.
Yeah. Fair enough. I think we could end it there. I think we could end it here. We full value gapped, fair value gapped, inverse value gapped. I got my 30 points. Nice little 1-to-1 risk reward here during the slow markets. And here we go, everybody. Look. And I'm not going to be in front of this. I'm not going to sit here and try and overmanage it. I'm flat. $1,600. Slow markets.
Great trade, my guy.
That's after a very dramatic 292 loss yesterday. So mark that down if you're keeping track of the P&L. And any last words, Jay?
Trade well, manage your risk. We'll see you all tomorrow. I'll be on the opening call with Hoag and JD tomorrow. See you all then. Great session, though. 2 trades, 2 winners. Clip that up for your socials. And we'll see you next time.
All right.
Great stuff, Dakota.
Take care. See you, Jay.